Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be restocking the freezer for the weeks ahead. I have been loving meal prepping, and I learned a couple tricks I'm going to share with you in this video to absolutely help you crush all of your weekly meal planning, and I cannot wait to share. If you're new here, my name is Nicholsen. I love to do all things homemaking, and I'd love it if you would subscribe, and if you're returning, it is so great to see you. For the week of January 20th, I had lots of new recipes I wanted to make ahead of time so that I could have them ready to go for the kids. I know that I started this year saying that I was going to dedicate more of my time here at home, and that seemingly has changed because I took a position. Luckily, it's consulting, so I'm not there all the time, but I will tell you it's been very time consuming thus far, and I have a feeling I'm going to need to help myself be able to feed our family every single week a little bit easier. For me, Hungry Root has been my go-to, especially for snacks and quick bites like lunches and things like that for my kids and for our family, for my husband, for all of us. And since I went back to work, I decided to add Hungry Root back to my weekly routine. Over the years as a busy full-time working mom, I always relied on companies like Hungry Root. If you're not familiar with Hungry Root, they're the easiest way to eat healthy every single week. They learn the things that you love, your nutritional preferences, your taste, the things you like, your health goals, and they will send you weekly meal planning kits and grocery shopping items right to your house. They send you everything from breakfast, lunch, dinner, depending on what you're looking for. The other thing I love about this company is they send me snacks as well. These are grab and goes I can throw in my purse. As a busy working mom, this has always been something that I've kept in rotation weekly. Hungry Root will take care of all of your grocery needs each week. They send nutritious foods to achieve whatever diet goals you have. For me, that would be anti-inflammatory and gut-friendly things, but they also have gluten-free, dairy-free, things like that. Oh, and high protein. I know a lot of you love a high-protein diet. So if you would like to take the shopping and planning and cooking out of your schedule, I would highly recommend starting with Hungry Root. They are one of the best for all meals of the day. They ship it right to your house. I love a ready-to-eat meal, plus everything you cook with Hungry Root is 15 minutes or less, which is unlike the very long meals we will be cooking in today's video. So if you want to join me and have Hungry Root do all of your grocery shopping and meal planning, you can go to hungryroot.com and use my code Mrs. Lauren, that's MRSLAUREN, or you can simply scan the QR code here on the screen and you will get 40% off your first box plus a free gift for life. Here's a quick overview of everything we got this week. Lots of healthy, yummy, chocolatey snacks. We got some broccoli, some Caesar salad. I love their salad mixes. We also got their lemon chicken, which happens to be one of our family favorites, fajitas, and so much more. I highly recommend skipping the grocery store and stocking up your weekly meal plans with Hungry Root. Okay, so for today, we are going to do all of the meal planning for the week. It is linked down in my description box, all the meals and recipes that we are going to be cooking today. I am so excited. I ran to the store, picked up a couple things I need. I am going to change up my Instant Pot ribs with some birria spice. Oh my gosh, this turns out incredible. And we are just going to get all the meals done in one day. I don't have to cook all week. All I have to do is pull these babies out and reheat them, and I cannot wait to get started. Here's an overview of everything we picked up. And we'll be prepping also some sauces like ranch and chipotle dressing. And obviously it's a beautiful new week, so we have to do a flower arrangement because that is what we do every single week on Sunday, is make ourselves some flowers. So I'm going to get all of this put away, cleaned, and we're going to get cooking. I wanted to make a couple things for some kids who said they were hungry. I try most of the time when I'm here at the house to prep things for the kids and not let them eat like school snacks. So they were asking for burritos. That's super easy. I like to melt the cheese and then just add the refried beans on top and roll those up. I'm going to make a couple of those, set them aside for the kids, and then we're going to get cooking. Now, the first thing I really wanted to make to have in the freezer was some ribs. And since it was freezing cold outside, I decided to put them in my Instant Pot, which I don't always use here on my channel, but I do like it. I just don't use it all the time. But it happens to be the #1 downloaded recipe on my website, so we're going to go ahead and make that together today. I'm going to start with a delicious rub, but first let's get the kids fed. I am so excited to make this, and I will tell you, one of my kids came down and ate almost an entire rack of these himself. So that's how good these are. To start this, I'm going to actually be using a birria seasoning that I found at Whole Foods that is so delicious. I change it up all the time. I will link this recipe down below, totally free to download, with a little bit, a lot of bit of brown sugar. I like to coat both sides of the ribs. Now we're going to put this in the Instant Pot. You can put both if they fit. Otherwise, one of these fit by itself and then 2 fit together. So we're going to do this in 2 separate batches. All you need to do is coat each side with whatever type of seasoning you love. You can even use like a barbecue style sauce or whatever you're looking for. I wanted mine to have kind of that birria taste to it. And then we're going to put it into the Instant Pot for 25 minutes on high pressure. This will then come down, the pressure will come down for about 15 minutes. I add a cup of water and a half a cup of apple cider vinegar, but then I always add a little bit of that liquid smoke. It gives it that smoky flavor that's just so good, and typically why people love making the ribs this way. When you add that liquid smoke, it just really kicks it up a notch. So we're going to add that and get all of this done. Once they come out of the Instant Pot, we're just going to add them into the oven at 450, for about 5 minutes until it gets bubbly, and then we are going to freeze these for another day. While the ribs are cooking, we're going to get started on our meatballs for the week. I'm going to be adding 1 cup of panko and then a 1/3 cup of milk into a bowl. I like to allow the panko to fully absorb the milk before I add in my other ingredients. That gets it nice and soft and makes it really easy to mix up. We're going to be adding in 2 eggs, and then once you have all of that incorporated, pretty much your wet ingredients, we're going to add in some Italian seasoning. I'm loving this Italian seasoning from Trader Joe's. I've been using it for about a year now, and I absolutely love it. I always overstock on it. And then we have some diced garlic that we already did for the month, and the same thing with the onions. We're going to add those in, mix that up, and then add in some Parmesan cheese. Once you kind of have all of that really well mixed, we're going to add in our pork, and we're going to add in our beef. That is I think they say 8 ounces. I'm not sure, but you're just going to want to mix all of that up into a bowl, and then we're going to use a little ice cream scooper to actually form our meatballs. I will link this recipe down below. You can follow along with our weekly meal plan. While our meatballs are cooking away, I wanted to get started on making our tortellini soup. Now, this is an Italian sausage soup with kale. I already made a week ago, but my kids absolutely loved it. So if you're looking for a great recipe for your kids, I highly suggest trying this one out. I'm going to take about 5 Italian sweet sausages that are uncooked and remove the meat from the inside out of the casing into little balls. And I'm just going to frazzle those up for a little bit. You can add a little bit of olive oil or avocado oil to the bottom while those cook. I'm going to drop in some onions. I have to tell you, from our last video where we prepped all of the ingredients we need for the week and put it in the freezer, has been an absolute game changer for actually making lots of meals. So if there are ingredients like chicken, onions, garlic, leeks, mushrooms, what have you, that you use a lot during the week, even kale, chop it up one day a month and freeze it. It has been so nice to be able to do all these meals. I did everything today in under 3 hours, which was pretty impressive. So the next thing I want to do is make one of the next recipes, which is going to be probably, I want to say, my favorite recipe of the week, which is the chicken protein bowls. So for the marinade, it calls for some chipotle, peppers, and adobo, and I thought since I didn't need all of it, I would save the rest and make a little bit of chipotle mayo, which is always my go-to favorite. I actually made a little sandwich this morning for lunch, and well, obviously I didn't eat it this morning, but I made it this morning and took it to work, and it was so delicious. So to continue on with our soup, I'm kind of jumping between these two things at once. We're going to add in some crushed tomatoes, some tomato paste. I added in our fresh chicken stock that I made and froze, and I just let them sit out the night before. We're going to bring that to a boil. Once we get to a boil, we're going to add in the rest of the ingredients. But for now, let's go ahead and finish our little marinade for this chicken. So I'm adding in a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, and some lime. The lime, I tasted this, the lime was so delicious in this. I had never thought to put lime in with a chipotle marinade, but I ended up adding lime into our chipotle mayo because it was just so yummy. So we're going to add just a little bit of olive oil in there. Then I'm going to chop up a bunch of chicken. I'm doing 2 different marinades today, but I will tell you this is definitely going to be my favorite. That chipotle chicken smells delicious. I cannot wait to try it. So the next recipe we're going to be making this week is a coconut curry chicken. So I'm going to just make the marinade now, and then I'll add it in there and again put it into the freezer. I'm going to be using some red curry paste with some delicious coconut milk. We're going to keep mixing that up, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of tomato paste, some garlic, and some onions. Once that's all mixed up, we're going to go ahead and add in some chicken. Now, the one thing I wanted to say about this is depending on how you want the chicken to feel. So like the chipotle protein bowls, I didn't want a bunch of massive pieces of chicken breast. I wanted little ones. So I did little ones in that. And then for the coconut curry chicken that I'm going to put over a bed of rice, I wanted the chicken to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to make these chicken breasts. I used about 3 for both meals, a little bit thicker than the ones I did before. Just a little tip, if you are going to be making it for a specific meal, that's kind of an easy gauge for that. We're going to chop that up, and then I am going to bag these, and we are almost more than halfway done. So we officially have 2 meals bagged and done, ready for the freezer, and now it's time to continue to finish the other things we have cooking away. I have to tell you, that marinade you guys have to try, even if you don't freeze it. The chipotle marinade was absolutely by smell, one of the best I think I've ever smelled. But now that this is all done, we need to head over and get our ribs out of the Instant Pot. We got to get our meatballs out of the oven. I'm going to just use a thermometer real quick to make sure the internal temperature is well done. That way we just keep it safe around here. But these are smelling delicious, and I know the kids are absolutely going to love them. To prep these, I'm just going to take them out of the freezer, let them come to room temperature, and then just add some marinara sauce, and you've got dinner in probably less than 5 minutes. So now our first set of ribs are done. They look so perfect. I forgot how much I love this recipe. The smell is amazing. I'm going to pop those in the oven just to char the top, and then I'm going to add the other two into the Instant Pot. Like I said earlier, unfortunately, the first one was just a little bit too big to be in here with two, but these two fit perfectly. I added in a little extra of the liquid smoke, kept the juice down below, and we're going to cook that. To finish off our pasta, or our tortellini, to finish up our tortellini soup, I just added those in. I got those from Costco, and then I'm going to top it with some Tuscan kale. It is my favorite, as you all know. I just planted a ton in the garden. And I'm just going to let that come to a little simmer. We're also going to be adding in some heavy whipping cream, and I like to add in a bunch of Parmesan cheese as well. You'll need just about a cup of the heavy whipping cream, but you could also use about a cup and a half if you want to go with something a little lighter, like a half and half. Since I kind of had everything either cooking in the Instant Pot, in the oven, or on the stove, I figured I'd do a little quick cleanup. I like to spray the bleach on the countertop and let it sit there for a while to really absorb any bacteria. And then I checked all the recipes I have. We are almost done. And I even had time to unload and load the dishwasher, which is pretty incredible. So I wanted to get all of that tucked away so I could really focus on getting all of these meals done, put away, and in the freezer. I cannot wait. Again, this took me 3 hours top to bottom to get all of these dishes done, and I could not be happier to think that Monday morning I wake up and I don't have to cook a single meal for the entire week. Okay guys, our kitchen is officially clean. My tortellini soup is simmering on the stove, and I have to tell you, my kids already asked if we could have this for dinner tonight, and my ribs look so delicious. You have to try this recipe. It is so good. All you have to do is defrost it, slather on some barbecue sauce, heat it up, and it's ready to go. Now, every single week, one of the things that I really like, and it's kind of like my happy place, is having a nice floral arrangement at the house. Now, if my husband could send me one from the local florist, that would be lovely, but also extremely expensive. So I love to go to Trader Joe's and just pick out flowers that I get inspired by. If you frequent the floral department at Trader Joe's, you know they always have different stuff. And I saw these beautiful little cabbage florals, and I thought, oh my gosh, I love the little pop of green and purple. Let's go with purple. So I ended up going with a couple different things and made just the most beautiful little flower arrangement. This is also a nice break in my day on Sundays when we always kind of have stuff going on, but between, I want to say, like 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock is really my time as a mom to reset. And when I'm resetting, I don't think about myself often, and these flowers, this has kind of been one one of my things this year in 2025. These flowers have been kind of my little gift to myself every single Sunday. I look forward to it. I had a break while everything was cooking, and I just felt so happy. And every morning when I wake up, I light the candle right next to it, and it just brings me so much joy. So I'm thinking of doing a video on floral arrangements, but gosh, they take so long. This took quite some time to build, and I have to tell you, it's not the easiest thing, but you just kind of keep eyeing each side and just keep filling in one stem at a time. I always love to finish with eucalyptus. The reason I like the eucalyptus is it feels like a firework. It just brings out the elevated colors and really allows the eye to go high down to the very low points, which are those beautiful little purple baby's breath and the roses. But we got to clean up, and you guys, it's time to get the rest of this dinner for the whole week into the freezer. I cannot wait to show you. And I have to say, I'm not even done cooking, and my kitchen is so clean, which feels incredible. I feel so accomplished. So the next thing I'm going to do is get all of these meatballs in a bag. I was very pleased to see that they all fit beautifully and orderly. I would like to keep these types of things as similar as the other one, so it's kind of hard. You never really know until you get them in the bag, but it turned out perfect. And then I do have a chicken sitting over here. And I wasn't sure, I actually have two. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with those. I was going to see if I could do an Instant Pot whole chicken just as a trial. So we're going to do that. And then the other one, my husband said he was going to make overnight broth with. So I love that. He takes one, I take one. We divide and conquer the chicken. So I'm going to add in some smoked paprika, some garlic, and some onion powder. I also want to really rub that into the chicken. I had a little bit of cayenne pepper on one side, and then of course Italian seasonings, because like everything is better with a little Italian seasoning. I've got both of those. Now the recipe that I picked up for this, because I've never done a whole chicken in an Instant Pot. I'm not a really big Instant Pot mama, but it called for some butter on top. So while we are waiting for the last of the ribs to finish, I remembered that, do you guys remember 2 weeks ago when I had started making my own homemade hot sauce? Yeah, totally forgot about it. So we're going to actually make that as well, which I'm really excited about. Before I do that, I need to pull these ribs out, throw those beautiful babies in the oven, and then throw that chicken in this Instant Pot. And I will tell you later in this video how I feel about how it turned out, because I got mixed emotions about it. Okay, so now my favorite part of this entire video is making my own hot sauce. So 2 weeks ago, I added some Fresno chilies, I don't remember, I have to go look back at that video, but there are 3 different chilies in a bunch of vinegar and sugar, and I let it sit there for 2 weeks, and the recipe said to bring it to a boil. So we did that, and now I'm just gonna purify it down. Now some of these say like to make it like more of a hot sauce, you can actually strain it. I didn't do that. This hot sauce, okay, was the greatest hot sauce in the world. I could drink it well, I wouldn't, but it was so good. So I am going to take the time, put it in a recipe, put it down below, because it was worth the 2 weeks. It's almost, actually, to be honest with you, it's almost gone. So we did this on Sunday, and I'm doing this voiceover on a Tuesday. So that's how good it was. The next thing I want to do is do my weekly ranch, which this week I decided to add some fresh garlic into it. It was absolutely delicious. I added some tarragon, chives, parsley, a little bit of basil, just herbs from the garden, and add in some mayonnaise and sour cream. I add salt and pepper, and it is just so good. But with the garlic, it had this really bright kick to it that was super yummy. I wonder if maybe we should turn that into a chicken marinade and actually cook that. That actually sounds delicious. Now, for those leftover chipotle pieces, I wanted to make a little Chipotle ranch, which is one of my favorite things on earth. Where I live, there's this restaurant called Gott's Burgers, and you can actually buy their Chipotle ranch for like $6. And it is delicious. Now, remember when I said I did that marinade with the lime? I thought this time I'm going to add the lime into this mayo. It was amazing. And if you don't love the spice of Chipotle mayo, add a little sugar. It will cut it in half. Like honestly, the spice will really be cut in half if you add a couple little sprinkles of sugar. It really, really does help. So I'm going to start labeling things, and we are almost done. So the chicken was fall off the bone, so moist and delicious, and I almost dropped it there. But the one thing I will say is it didn't have like the crunchy top, which is kind of my favorite part. So I did like it. It was very juicy, but boy, was I excited to light my candle, get my weekly floral arrangement on the table. My husband's chilling, watching sports, and I wanted to get the fireplace on. But the one thing I wanted to do is give you a close-up of how beautiful is this arrangement. How fun are these purple colors? This year, my color is purple. This year, my word is learn, and I have to tell you, I am having the most fun on these weekly cooking, especially with the freezer meals, has made my life so much easier. So we have a beautiful coconut curry chicken, we have our chipotle, we have our meatballs, we have all of our recipes. I have my tortellini soup, I got hot sauce, I have ranch, people, I have chipotle mayo, I have ribs, and I have chicken with some, I added in a little bit of cauliflower on the side so I could throw that in. We made cookies. I obviously didn't film that because it shows my kids and I don't ever show them here, but I will tell you, it has been so fun. I'm a freezer mama. You can just get rid of this refrigerator because I am just going to start freezing everything. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and got a little inspired to at least back yourself up for life. Get some freezer meals in there. Don't forget to add the recipe in there, so in case you have to finish things, especially if it's a marinade, you know, then at least you have your recipe. We ended up having the fajitas last night. Oh my goodness, those were amazing. I loved it. I dipped it. I actually made mine into a quesadilla and then dipped it in that chipotle ranch. It was divine. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video, and I will see you in the next one real soon. Bye.